Hilchos Ishus Perek Shishi, the laws of marriage, chapter 6. Today is all about a conditional marriage. Somebody who does kiddushin, he does an act of acquisition on a woman, but he makes that act conditional on the woman doing something. And the question is, when does that condition work and when does it not? And there's a counterintuitive concept that we have to say as we open the chapter. If I make a conditional kiddushin, I say you're only going to be married to me if such and such happens. So if the condition is good, then the marriage only begins when the condition is fulfilled. But if the condition is no good, and pay attention here closely, if the condition is no good, the marriage begins now. Not a good condition doesn't mean the whole marriage is out. If I make a condition that's not valid according to Jewish law, then what that means is that I'm married starting now. I don't wait for the condition to be fulfilled. Okay, so keep that in mind as we go through the chapter. It says that Rambam halacha aleph hamekadesh al tanai. If somebody consecrates a woman with a condition, im niskayim hatnai mikudeshes. If the condition is then fulfilled, she's consecrated. The im lav, if she doesn't fulfill the condition, eina mikudeshes, then she's not consecrated. But this is all if it's a good condition. Bein sheyiyah hatnai mino ish, bein sheyiyah mino isha. Whether the man makes the condition or the woman makes the condition. The chol tnai shaba'ilam, every single condition in the world of Jewish law, that means. Bein bekiddushin, bein begerushin, bein bemekach, bein bememkar, bein bishar dinei mama, and whether we're talking about marriage, whether we're talking about divorce, or buying, or selling, or any other monetary issue, when you make a condition in order to be a Jewish, halachically valid condition, tzarich liyos batnai arba dvarim. There needs to be in the condition four things. Four things have to be met in order for a condition to be valid, and these are the four boxes on the screen here: the blue box, the orange box, the purple box, and the green box. In that order. The Rambam tells us the following: Halacha beis, the eluhein arba dvarim shel kol tanai. These are the four things, the four prerequisites for a condition to be a valid condition. Number one, sheyiyah kafel. Okay, in my screen that's the times 2 box. Your condition has to have a double expression. If you do this, then X. If you don't do this, then Y. It has to be a double expression. Number 2, within the double expression, v'sheyiyah hein shaloi kaidum lalav. The yes, the positive part of the condition, has to come before the negative part of the condition. That's the orange box. Yes before no. That means you have to say, if you do this, then yes. If you don't do this, then no. You can't say the opposite. You can't say, if you don't do this, then no. If you do this, then yes. That's the no before the yes. You have to have the yes before the no. Number 3, v'sheyiyah hatnai kaidum lamaisa. The stipulation, the condition has to be expressed before you do the action upon which the stipulation is depending. That's the Rambam's interpretation of this concept. There's a bit of an argument as to what this means, but the Rambam says it means you have to talk before you do. That's the purple box. See, the guy's talking and then he's giving the money. So for example, if you're acquiring a woman, you cannot give her the money and then make the condition. You have to first make the condition and then give her the money of kiddushin. If you were to give her the money first, then the deed is done. There's no conditions. Huh? Yeah, it's logical. And number 4, v'sheyiyah hatnai davar she'efshar l'kaimoi. The condition that you're making has to be possible to fulfill. So the classic example is a ladder going up to heaven. Happens to be this week's parsha. Yaakov Avinu saw in his dream, ladder going to heaven. So if you tell a woman, you're only going to be married to me if you climb to heaven, that's an impossibility. So the whole condition is invalid. And pay attention. Invalid condition means the marriage takes place now. Says the Rambam weiter, if the condition is lacking any of the 4 prerequisites, the condition becomes cancelled. And it's as though there is no condition, which means rather the woman who is becoming married or divorced will be married or divorced immediately. Or in case of a sale or in case of a gift, the sale or the gift goes through immediately. As though there was no condition at all, since the condition was lacking one of the 4 prerequisites. And now the Rambam will spell it out. In terms of marriage, each of these 4. So for the next couple of slides, let's remember, because I'm only going to have the colors. The color code is, the blue is the double condition. The orange is the yes before no. The purple is the condition before the action, and the green is the possibility of the condition. So now let's examine the first case in light of this. It says that Rambam Malacha Gimel Ketzad. What is implied? How does a good condition look like? Ha'omer li'isha, if you tell a woman, Im titni li masayim zuz, hariyat mekudeshes li bedinar zeh. If you will give me $200, then this coin will consecrate you. V'im lo titni li, lo ti'im mekudeshes. If you don't give me $200, then you're not going to be consecrated. Ve'achar shehisna t'nai zeh, nosan lo hadinar. And then after you express the condition verbally, you then gave her the money in her hand. Harei hatanai kayam. And here you can see all four boxes are checked. The blue box is checked because it's double expression. If you give, then yes. If you don't give, then no. The orange box is checked because the yes came before the no. The purple box is checked because he first said the condition and then gave the coin. And the fourth box, of course, is a check because what he's asking for to give $200 is entirely possible. And therefore, harei hatanai kayam, the condition is valid. And the woman is in a state now where she is consecrated on condition, which means if she fulfills the condition, if she gives indeed the $200, she'll be consecrated. And if she won't give it to him, then she will not be consecrated. This is a case where all the boxes are checked, the quintessential halachically good condition. Now let's examine some faulty conditions. Let's say the man would say the following. Here, I want you to be married with this coin. And right away he gives her the coin. He gives the coin into her hand. And only then, he completes the condition and says, if you give me the $200, you'll be consecrated. If not, you won't. So here, even though the blue box and the orange box are checked, in other words, the expression was double expression. The yes came before the no. But what's missing? The condition is cancelled. The purple box is not checked. The purple box means you got to talk before you do. And here he did before he talked. He prefaced the action, and he only gave it the coin into her hand and only then made the condition. And again, the green box is also checked because it's a possible condition. What he's asking for is reasonable, but missing the purple. Even though everything happens in the time span of speech, Toich Kedei Dibur is a halachic terminology. It means the time it takes to say the three words, Shalom Alecha Rebbe, peace upon to you, my master. That's called Kedei Dibur, the time it takes to speak. So even if the whole thing happens, Toch Kedei Dibur, in other words, he didn't give her the coin and then wait a half an hour and then make the condition. He gave her the coin and the moment later he said the condition. Doesn't matter. Deed before the talk, the Tanai is cancelled. Harezu mikudeshes miyad. And pay attention again. What does it mean the Tanai is cancelled? The marriage takes place right now. Because he gave her the coin right away, it was a valid kiddushin, so she's consecrated right away. And she need not give him anything, no $200. The whole condition falls out the window. Halacha hey. Let's examine another faulty example. Here it's very faulty, although the Rambam wants to bring out just one point. Similarly, if he tells the woman, Im titni li masayim zuz, harei at mikudeshes li bedinar zeh, if you give me 200 zuz, then you will be consecrated to me with this coin. And only then you put the coin into her hand. So there's a little mistake over here. The purple box over here was fulfilled. This should be a check. He spoke and then he did. He did say the condition before he gave the money. And the green box is also checked because it's a reasonable condition. But what's missing here is the first two. The Tanai is cancelled because he didn't make a double expression. He only said, if you give me the money, then you'll be mine. And of course, if there's no double expression, then automatically there's no orange box, there's no yes before no. Because he didn't say, if you don't give me the money, you won't be consecrated. And again, when the condition is cancelled, that means that the marriage takes effect right away, with no need for her to give him anything. Halacha vav, another faulty condition. If a person tells a woman, if you don't give me $200, you won't be married to me. But if you give me $200, you'll be married to me with this coin. And then you put the coin into her hand. So here what do we have? A double expression, yes, the blue box is checked. He spoke before he did, yes, the purple box is checked. A reasonable condition, yes, the green box is checked. But what's missing is he put the no before the yes. the condition is canceled because he prefaced the no to the yes. And therefore, because the condition is canceled, that means again, the marriage takes effect immediately. And she need not give him any money, rather the marriage is happening right away. And the final example of a faulty condition, halacha zayin, v'cheinim amar la, if he tells her, im tali lorakia, oiter di la tohoim, hareat mekudeshes li b'dinar zeh, if you can climb to the heavens, or descend to the depths, you will be married to me with this coin. But if you don't climb to the heavens, or you don't go down to the depths, you will not be married. And then he gave the coin into her hand. So what do we have here? Actually, all three boxes here are checked. A double expression, good. Yes before no, good. Talking before doing, good. What's missing is, it's not a reasonable condition. The condition is cancelled. She's married right away. It's well known that she cannot fulfill this condition. She can't climb to the heavens. She can't go to the depths. And therefore, this condition is only considered he's just speaking in a joking manner, facetiously. You once taught me that word. It's the only English word that has all the vowels in order. Facetious. A-E-I-O-U, in order. He's being a jokester. No, you actually taught it to me one Shabbos. You came over and you said, the English word facetious, and it's a funny word because it's funny. It means joking, and it's also funny because it has all the vowels.
But it implies a certain amount of sarcasm.
It's not funny, right?
Huh? Yeah, it's more like a jesting.
No, sarcastic.
It's sarcastic?
It's a bit of lashon genai.
Doing something with a bit of venom.
Really? I thought it was more jokingly.
It could be.
Hold on.
With venom. A little bit of venom.
No, treating serious issues with deliberately inappropriate humor.
Yeah,
There's Google's definition.
Yeah.
Treating serious issues with deliberately inappropriate humor. Okay, that makes sense. There's a marriage. It's supposed to be serious, and you're making a joke out of the whole thing. Okay, this is a fascinating concept. Halacha ches. Let's say you make a condition with an act that's entirely possible to do. But Torah forbids it. For example, you tell a woman, if you eat forbidden fats or some blood, then you'll be married with this coin. And if you don't eat, you're not going to be consecrated to me. If you have a pork sandwich, then I'll give you a divorce. If you don't eat the pork, then no divorce. And after you express the condition, you put the coin or the divorce into her hand. What do you think? It works or doesn't work? Good condition, bad condition? Huh? Logic would say it's bad, right? Why? Because it's an impossibility. She's an observant Jew. She's not going to do it. But the Rambam says, fascinatingly, the condition is valid. If she transgresses the Torah law and eats the pork or the blood, she's married or divorced. Excuse me. If she doesn't eat, then she's not married or divorced. We don't say the rule that the person made a condition against the Torah. This is a very important rule. It comes up again and again. It's called a stipulation made against the Torah is cancelled. That's a rule. It's a cardinal rule. So why don't we say over here that this person made a condition against the Torah? Because he isn't forcing her. He's saying, if you do it, you'll get married. If not, not. She can choose to stay an observant Jew, not eat the pork, not eat the blood, and thereby not have the act take effect. That's true. That's true. She could be desperate. That's true.
Putting her in the situation where she's willing to contravene the rule because she wants to get out of it, and he's being.
That's true. But she has the free choice. She has the free choice, and because of that, it's not an impossible condition.
It's not impossible, but it's nasty.
It is nasty. I'll give you that. Says the Rambam halacha tes. Okay, so if every condition we say that she has the ability to not do it, so then in which case did the sages say that whenever a person makes a stipulation against the Torah, that the stipulation is cancelled, except for monetary issues. Monetary issues, you can always make any conditions that you want, because There, a person can waive the privileges that he has monetarily. But religiously, you can't waive certain prohibitions. So when did the sages actually say that a condition against the Torah would be canceled? So the Rambam describes it as follows. Let's say the person would want to engage in a marriage or a divorce or a sale or a gift with the condition he wants the condition to make him able to receive something which Torah says he cannot. Or he wants to exempt himself from something which Torah obligates him by the condition. In that case, then we say your stipulation is cancelled, your action is valid. We cannot exempt you from that which Torah obligates you from, nor will you get that which Torah wants you not to have. For example, Ketzah, what does that look like practically? Here's a good example. You give a woman a coin. You say, you're going to be married to me on condition that I have no obligations to you. Torah says that whenever you get married, you have three obligations. She'er is food, ksut is clothing, ona is conjugal relations. So you know what? I'm not going to feed you. I'm not going to give you clothes. I'm not going to have relations with you. That's the marriage that I want. In that case, we tell him, listen, clothing and food, that's monetary stuff. The woman, if she wants, she can waive her rights. So say, no problem, I got this down. I have family, they'll give me food, they'll give me clothes, no problem. Your condition is valid. But when it comes to conjugal relations, that's not monetary. That's an obligation that you as a husband have to provide to your wife. And therefore, your condition is cancelled. The Torah obligates you to engage in relations. She is going to be consecrated. You gave her money. She's yours. But you actually have to fulfill the conjugal rights. You cannot, with your condition, exempt yourself from that mitzvah. And anything like that, where you're getting out of an obligation of Torah, that's where the condition is cancelled. Another example. This is an interesting situation. The Rambam talks about it in the very end of his book. The end of the 14th book, the last set of laws. Yifat Torah is the mitzvah that a soldier at war, if he sees an attractive non-Jewish woman, he's allowed to have relations with her once on the battlefield. Then, if he wants to continue living with her, he has to take her in, a whole process of conversion, and then get married officially. Once they get married officially, he is no longer able to use her for any other purpose, as a slave, let's say, for whatever it is. She becomes a full-fledged wife. So if a person goes to the Yifat Torah, means a beautiful woman, but it reference to that non-Jewish woman captive of war. He consecrates the woman, and he says, you know what, we're going to get married, and the condition that you're also going to be my housekeeper. I'm also going to be able to use you as a slave. The marriage is valid, the condition is not. He cannot use her as a slave. Torah stops you. Torah withholds you from using her as a slave after she engages in relations with you. Not because you made a condition are you going to override that which Torah stops you from. Your condition is cancelled, and anything like it. Now, let's return to the case of violating the Torah. The Rambam says there is one case where it's actually an impossible condition to tell a woman to violate the Torah. When is that? When the prohibition involves somebody else. Let's say you make a condition on a woman when you're getting married or divorced. Another nasty guy. If you want to get married or get divorced, you must first engage in relations with your father or your brother or your son. So here, it's a violation of the Torah, but we do consider it to be impossible. That's like a condition that says, go up to the heavens or down to the depths. And your condition is cancelled. Why? How come before by the blood we said, if she wants, she could eat it. If she wants, she doesn't have to eat it. How come over here we don't say that? Because over here you're asking someone else to also do an Avera. Relations with her father is forbidden to her father as well. She has no power to make other people transgress and have relations with an erva, a woman who is prohibited to on penalty of excision. So with her, you made a condition which she cannot fulfill. If it's a personal transgression, She can go to the restaurant and have a cheeseburger, no problem. But you want her to get somebody else to have relations with her? She can't do that. And therefore, anything like that doesn't apply. Now, what if it's not a Torah prohibition? What if it involves somebody else, but it's not a Torah prohibition? For example, so listen, I want this piece of real estate. I'm not going to marry you or divorce you until you arrange that guy should sell me his courtyard. Or I'm not going to divorce you till you arrange that guy marries off his daughter to my son. I need the shidduch, so your marriage is hanging in the balance till you do that. Here, Tanoi Kayam. Here, the condition is valid. Because she can fulfill it. If she's a super nudgy woman, she'll make it happen. Maybe she'll give the guy tons of money. Maybe she'll convince him to get the courtyard transferred, or the daughter engaged to the son. No transgression. Anything like it. So we now have three levels. If it's a personal prohibition you're asking her to transgress, that works. If it's a prohibition which involves other people, that doesn't work. If it's a random condition which involves other people, then it does work. Those are the three categories. Okay. Says the Rambam Malacha Yud Gimel Sim Kol Elu Hadvarim Shal Tnoyim Leneged Einecha Tamid. Make sure you have all these core principles about conditions in front of your eyes constantly. B'chol Makrim Shat Shemeya. And going forward, any place where you're going to hear in halacha, in this book, in the next books, in the books of sales, all the books about conditions, wherever you hear the words Hamekadesh Al Tanai Kach V'Kach, or Hamneisen Get Al Tanai Kach V'Kach, or Hamoichere Hanoisen Al Tanai, one who marries on condition, one who divorces on condition, one who sells or gives on condition, you must know, Teda, you will know, that the condition has to have all the four things which we expressed before. And let's look at them again. The four boxes, times two, is a double expression. Yes before no. The positive aspect comes before the negative aspect. He talks before he does. And the condition has to be reasonable, not an impossible condition. So we don't have to explain them in every place. Rather, whenever they come up, you will remember these four conditions. Again, if one of them is lacking, there's no condition, and no condition, I repeat again, means that whatever you're doing is actually valid immediately. An invalid condition means the act takes place right now. Halacha Yudalid. Yesh miktas gaonim acharonim. There are some of the later gaonim, the Rif amongst others, that say she'ein tzarich adam lichbel tnoi ela begitin v'kiddushin bilvat. That the whole concept of double expression, this box, the blue box, which by default then includes the orange box as well, the whole idea of a double expression is only necessary in divorce and marriage. In monetary matters, no need for the double expression. And the commentaries explain that they hold that marriage and divorce is super severe, so you have to clearly express your condition. Monetary matters, which are more easily treated, even one expression is fine. The Rambam rules no. Do not rely on this matter. Rather, like I said, it says the Rambam, all four conditions must be met in every case. Why? Because the whole concept of double expression and all the four things, the sages extrapolated them from the famous story of the children of Gad and Reuven. Just before the Jews entered Israel, 2.5 tribes came to Moshe Rabbeinu, and they said, you know what, we don't want a portion of land in Israel, we have too much flocks, we need pasture, so please give us a portion in Ever HaYarden in Trans-Jordan. So what did Moshe say? First he was a little bit upset, but then he said, listen, and I have the verse here, and I highlighted all the colors to match the conditions. I'm not sure if it's clear, the green text, but let's see. Moshe told them, if, he told the Jews, if the two tribes of Gad and Reuven will come with you across the Jordan, all the strong, army, all the armed men, they're going to go to war. And the land's going to be conquered. Then give them the land of Gilead they're asking for as an inheritance. But if they don't go with you armed, They're going to get an inheritance with you in land of Canaan. So what do we see? First of all, we see a double expression. You see the blue? Im, v'im, right? If yes, if not. That's the blue box. Orange, he put the yes before the no. Im yavru, then yes. If they don't go, then no. Number 3, he put the verbal expression before the deed. He first had this condition, and of course, the deed was only fulfilled later. He didn't give them the Jordan now. He gave it to them only later. And of course, the condition that he was asking for was a reasonable condition. Go fight the war, and that's it. So all 4 elements are learned from these 2 verses of Gad and Reuven. Says the Rambam, 2nd, Im yavru v'nei Gad v'gomer v'im lo yavru. If they go, if they don't go. This condition was not about divorce, not about marriage. So if they had to have all 4 things over there, then surely we have to have all 4 things when it comes to money. Because this was the teaching, the ruling of the great early Gaonim, and this is how one should behave, that all 4 conditions must be met for all types of conditions. What were you saying, Philip?
It took him 15 years to conquer Israel.
That's true.
But still, the families of those tribes still resided there.
That's true. That's a good point. That's, yeah.
Even though they...
But it wasn't theirs.
It
wasn't theirs.
So the transfer never went into effect.
Yeah.
Until Israel was conquered.
Although one could say that he did give it to them right after he said it. And in that case, still, it's verbal before the deed. Yeah.
The structure was according to this what Rambam.
The Torah, yeah, the Rambam's thing. Okay. Says the Rambam Malacha Tezvav, a general ruling about conditions. Hamekadesh al Tanai. When a person consecrates a woman on condition, Kishi Yiskayim Atanai, when the condition is fulfilled, Tia Mikudeshes Mishash and Yiskayim Atanai. She's only married from the moment that the condition is fulfilled. Loi Mishash and Yiskacha. Not the moment that she was actually consecrated. Ketzah, what does that look like? Take a look at the chart here. Ha'omer li'isha. A person tells a woman, Im etin lich masayim zuz, b'shana zu, if I give you $200 during this year, hareat mikodesh li b'dinar zeh, you are going to be my wife with this coin. V'im lo yatin lich, lo yitim mikodesh, if I don't give you $200, then you're not going to be married. V'nasan hadinar liyada b'nisan. On the right side of the chart, you can see it's the month of Nisan when he makes the conditions. I'm going to give you money this year. But he only ends up giving the money in Elul 6 months later. So when is she married? Now that he did the condition, is she married all the way back here retroactively, or is she married only from here? Says the Rambam, since the marriage was conditional, and the condition was only fulfilled down here, the marriage only begins down here in Elul. Therefore, what's the practical ramification here? If somebody jumps in, let's say somebody over here jumps in, see, this guy's jumping in middle of the year. And he goes to the woman and he gives her money over here. And he makes an unconditional kiddushin. It's not hanging in the balance, it's totally full and valid. She will be consecrated to the second guy. Because since the first guy's conditional marriage is only going to be fulfilled over here, and this marriage happens over here, she's married to him, second guy. Same thing with divorce, same thing with money. Only in the moment that the condition is fulfilled, that's when the divorce or the sale or the gift goes through. Now there's an exception. What's the exception? Says the Rambam, when do we say this? When he made a condition, but he never said the word me'achshav, which means from now. Aval im amarla, but if he clearly says, Hareyat mekudeshes li me'achshav b'dinar zeh, im etin lich masayim zuz. You are going to be married to me from now with this coin, if I give you $200. Ula achar zman nasan lo masayim zuz, and later he gives her those $200. Harezu mekudeshes li mafreya mishas hakidushin. Then she is consecrated retroactively from the moment of consecration. Even if the condition was only fulfilled after much time. And therefore, in that case, were there to jump in a second guy and try to consecrate her before the condition was fulfilled, she is not consecrated. Same thing with divorce and with money. And if he says it's from now, then it's from now. Halacha Yud Zayin, turning the whole chapter on its head. Anybody who uses the word from now in his condition. Lo yitztarich lichpol t'nai, v'lo lahakdim t'nai ala ma'aseh. He doesn't need to do any of the other conditions. No need for a double expression. No need for putting the condition before the action. Ela afal pisha higdim ha'ma'aseh t'nai kayam. Even if he does the action first, his condition is valid because he used the word from now. See, in the verse we saw before, what does Moshe say? Only im v'im. He only says if yes, if not. He doesn't say it's going to happen from now. Once you say it's happened from now, then it's a whole different realm. You don't have to do any other conditions. Avol tzarich lahasnais b'davar she'efsher l'kaimah. All you have to do is the green box, right? The reasonable condition. V'im hisna b'davar she'efsher l'kaimah. If you made a condition with something that's impossible, harei ze kemaflik b'dvarim, it's like being facetious. Ve'ein sham tanai, there's no condition. The term almanas in Hebrew, which means on condition, but it's a different type of word, it implies from now. And then if you use the word almanas or me'achshav, you don't have to double your expression, nor make the verbal expression before the deed. Ketzah, what does that practically look like? Halacha yudches, ha'omer le'isha, a man tells a woman, harei at mekudeshes li almanas, shetitni li masayim zuz. You are betrothed to me on the condition that you will give me $200. Harei ze gitech almanas, shetitni li masayim zuz. You are this is your divorce, on condition that you give me $200. Harei chatzer zu nesuna lich b'matana almanas, shetitni li masayim zuz. This courtyard is given to you as a present on condition that you give me $200. Harei t'nai kayam. No double expression, no yes before no. That's it. But it's a valid condition. She's married, she's divorced, she gets the courtyard, and they must give the $200. If she never ends up giving the money, of course, she's not married, not divorced, and not get the field, the courtyard. But it's a valid condition. Even if there's no double expression, even if the deed came before the condition, let's say he gave the money, or he gave the divorce, or she already made the presumption's ownership in the courtyard, and only then he concluded his verbal condition, doesn't matter. Shaharei, the underlying rationale is because the moment the condition is fulfilled, she will get the courtyard, or be married, or be divorced, retroactively from the first moment when the deed was done, as if there were no condition. When it's a regular condition waiting in the balance, so then you're waiting for it to happen, and therefore you have to have a proper condition in order to create that balance. But if anyway, in the end of the day, she's going to have possession or ownership from the moment you made the condition, so in a certain way, it doesn't matter about the details of the condition. Because in the end, she's going to get it from now as if there were no condition. And therefore, none of the prerequisites are required.